guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Domonique, and if you're not new here, hey, hi, hello, what's up, welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about the running gear that I have been loving lately, dare I say obsessed, and things that I've been using throughout my whole half marathon training and journey that I've been on. So I did a 16-week training plan, and then I ran 2 back-to-back half marathons. And to give you guys just a little bit more like detail of my fitness background, if you're like, well, who are you? I promise you, I got a lot of expertise in here, okay? So I used to be a D1 track athlete at Duke University. I did the short sprints and I did triple jump, and triple jump was my main focus and the thing that I specialized in. After I graduated, I then did professional track and field where I focused again solely on the triple jump, and then I retired. And I was like, let me get into my running era because I had so much energy and just, I don't know. I was like, I need to like do something. I picked up long distance running. I started off with like a mile, and then I gradually grew to longer distances when I decided to sign up for my first half marathon back in 2023. And then I was like, I'm never gonna do that again. And then look at me now. I just ran 2 back-to-back half marathons, and New York half marathon was my 3rd one that I've ever done. And I feel like I have, because of all of this and all of these different transitions, I figured out what my true running faves are. I feel like there's a lot of noise, and sometimes you're just like, well, what actually is good and what is just a bunch of BS, honestly. I'm gonna show you guys my running faves and things that really did carry me through the 16-week training plan that I had for these 2 back-to-back half marathons. And hopefully for you, after you watch this video, you have some semblance of the things that you need, you might want, or you might not want, and what's actually like useful. Without further ado, let's get into it. First thing that I'm going to talk about is running shoes. I feel like that is one of the things that people love to talk about. Before I get into running shoes, I will give a small disclaimer. You do not need a whole bunch of running shoes. Honestly, you probably just need 2 pairs to rotate in between when you are training for a half marathon so that you can get the most out of your shoe. You should always go to a running store and get your foot looked at so that you can figure out what the best shoe is for you. And then with that knowledge, you can choose what brands you want to wear, what type of shoe you need, neutral, stability, wide. And then you go from there and you choose the shoe that you want, and then you can watch all the reviews on TikTok or Instagram or whatever so that you can pick the best shoe for you. Let me show you guys my shoe favorites that I've been loving this half marathon block. I have a very flat foot, and I also overpronate, which basically means that my ankles kind of tilt inwards. I typically lean towards stability shoes because it just gives my ankles that support that I need. As I transition into longer distance, I bounce between a lot of cushion and also stability shoe, which is why I have these 2. So my daily trainers that I switch in between depending on the weather and how I'm feeling are the Hoka Bondi 9 and then also the Asics Gel Kayano 31s. This is a true stability shoe, and you feel it when you put it on. They're amazing. And then they're not necessarily a stability shoe, but they have a ton of cushion. I'm telling you, cushion for city running is a must, and that just feels so wonderful and amazing on my foot. These cuties, I love her. Realize that when you do have 2 shoes, you can extend the longevity of the shoe when you rotate between 2 of them. So if you're gonna put, I don't know, 200, 300 miles on one shoe, and then 150 on this, and then it extends it. So now you have them for many more months, a year, than you would just a typical shoe that you have. When it comes to my race day shoes, I decided that I wanted to actually try on carbon plated shoes. Another disclaimer, and I feel like I have a lot of these, but I do have a run club here in Washington, D.C. I do get shoes from Hoka, and one of the days they decided to send me, what are these called? The carbon plated Hoka CLO X1. This is the old version. They only have the new version now, the 2.0. And they're dirt, so sorry, but they are bouncy. And I haven't tried the 2.0, but I would love to because they look like they have so much bounce. They also have like a sleeker design, but this is what I wore for race day. I don't think that if you're running a race, you necessarily need to have carbon plated shoes. Like, you really don't need them. Like, you can just run in your everyday trainers, like, and you'll probably feel way more comfortable. I did end up trying them, and I had one of like the best races ever for the New York half marathon. I decided to run in the CLO X1s, and I felt so bouncy, so in control. But I will say, if you are going to be wearing carbon plated shoes for your race day, please train in them beforehand. If that is doing practice long runs, I would do that just so that you can feel them when you're like running a longer distance, and you also kind of like know what you're putting your body through and all the stress. That is a wrap on the shoes that I wore. Next, I want to talk about running accessories, and these are just my favorite running accessories that I've been using throughout my entire half marathon training cycle, and also just the runs that I have in between. These are basically headphones, sunglasses, vests, fanny packs, the whole 9 yards. So the first one is something that I talk about literally all the time. These are the Chafe Open Run Pro 2. You will never not see me with these on. If I'm running around the city, if I'm traveling, if I'm going anywhere, I will always bring these. I also have the first version that I bought like a while ago. The only difference between the 1 and the 2, if you are going in between both of them, is the fact that for the Open Run Pro 2s, they have a different charging port. So this one is the USB-C, which makes it very easy if you are just bringing like one charging cable for all of your devices. This makes it so easy because it uses that same cord. The first one has its own separate charging cord, which does suck if you're like traveling and you forget it, then like there's no way of charging your headphones. The only other difference that I notice really is that the bass on this is a lot stronger than the first one. And you will always see me in any one of my running pictures, videos, 0.5 selfies, these girlies will be right here. And they stay on really well. So if I'm in the gym and I'm trying to listen to music without honestly hearing my surroundings, so I don't necessarily need to, I will wear my Sony I think it's like WHX4 or something like that. I love these. I've had these for like 4 years. They're so good. I take them with me on traveling. I don't run long distances in these, but if I'm on the treadmill, maybe doing like a speed workout or something that's like under an hour and I just like want to lock in and listen to this when I'm in the gym, then these are the ones that I go to. Noise canceling, and like sometimes you just don't want to hear anything, not even your breath. Let's get into the vest and fanny packs. I do want to get a vest that doesn't have a water pack because I personally did not enjoy running with a water pack. I did a half marathon, my first half marathon with a water pack because it was going to be like 80 something degrees. I ran with a running pack then and had never trained with it, and I just did not enjoy that experience at all. And ever since then, like I've just tried to master the pinch the top of the water cup and pour in my mouth method. This is a water vest that I do have. The reason why I'm showing it is because you can take out this, like the water pack, right? And unhook it from here, and you just have a vest that has all the pockets that you need, and you could use that for runs if you're a vest person. However, I'm a running belt girl when it comes to running. I just wanted to give you a disclaimer when it comes to vests because a lot of people have asked me and I just haven't tried on many. I mean, I like it without the water pack, but I haven't tried a vest that never even came with the water pack in general and like seen how like that worked. So when it comes to running belts, I have different types of running belts for the different types of runs that I'm going on or what I'm bringing with me. This Lululemon fanny pack, and I wear this a lot. Like I love her. I had bought it, I want to say in like 2022 when I went to Italy because I was like, oh, I need a fanny pack for a vacation, you know? And then it just kind of turned into my running bag because of how much it can hold, and it sits really nicely. The strap is pretty long, but I love wearing it. And if you're ever like seeing me run, I would say like 50% of the time I'm wearing this one so I can hold all my stuff and not have to worry. If I am doing something that's more like speedy, I switch in between two different types of running belts just based on like my outfit preference. This one is from Free People Movement, and they have a variety of different colors and nice material. It has the adjustable straps on the side. It sits nicely on your waist, and it's a pretty like big enough pouch to fit your phone and also gels or gummies that you have, and I'll go into that later. This is what it looks like on. Basically just like clips in the back here. Bada bing, bada boom. It sits on your waist, and it's like really nice. It feels pretty, oh, I closed it. It feels really good when you are running with it, and I don't think it rides up too much. Like you can make it tighter if you want and make it sit lower, but it's a really good running belt. The other one that I have is this one from Athleta. I love it. It's kind of dirty, but mostly because it goes with like most of my running fits. And this one is a little bit different because it clips this way. So it does that instead, but it's still very, very secure, and it has adjustable straps. I wore this for my last 2 half marathon races. It just clips here and it fits right on your hip. I love it. I feel like it fits the same amount as the Free People belt, and it's just a more sweat wicking material. This one feels a little bit more like a thicker version of like a Windbreaker or something. I am really much a running belt girl when it comes to running. That and then like pockets on my shorts, which I will go into a little bit later. The last accessory that I wanted to like talk about are actually the watch and like fitness bands, fitness rings, all that stuff. So I currently wear a Oura ring, and I also wear a Garmin. This is the 255S Music. Here's the thing. When I first started a long distance running journey, I was wearing a Fitbit. And when I started like running more miles, I kind of realized that like the Fitbit wasn't giving me the stats and metrics that I really wanted to be the best runner, and the GPS just wasn't actually that accurate, and it was always freaking out every single time. In the middle of 2024, I decided to upgrade from my Fitbit to the Garmin, and I've never looked back, and I love her so much. Garmin has a really good battery life. I mean, I wear her every single day. It has an amazing GPS. It has the music capabilities if I know how to use it. It just like gives good metrics that I need, like recovery time, how well am I doing on my runs, am I hitting my paces? It connects really well with Runna and also my Oura ring, which is what I wear on this hand right here. I have had my Oura ring for over a year now, and I like it more for my sleep metrics and baseline fitness activities. It's a nice way to like still get my metrics on days where I don't feel like wearing my Garmin, and that was like my appeal for getting it. So I've been an athlete literally my entire life, and the biggest thing that they harp on from the time that you are doing sports when you are younger to professional athlete to everyday athlete, all that stuff is recovery. And I've accumulated a lot of tools over my career. Let's get into some of my favorite recovery tools that I use almost every day because they are just what you need. It's a necessity. The first things first, as everyone knows, a foam roller. I feel like this is a no-brainer. Like if you don't have one at this point and you are in the beginning of your running career, you are seasoned, whatever, like everyone should have a foam roller. They do not cost that much. You can get them literally anywhere. You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods. You can go honestly anywhere and they will have a foam roller for you. If you want to be a little bit more spicy, you want something a little harder, you know what I mean? You can even go to like Lowe's and get like a PVC pipe cut, or like your local hardware store, and use that in this sizing to roll out your legs. Now, when I am traveling, sometimes it's not that easy to bring this gigantic foam roller with you, but luckily for us, there are smaller versions. So I also have a travel size foam roller. This is just so easy to carry. Foam rolling is really good for loosening up your muscles, aiding in recovery, blood circulation, flowing, all that stuff. It'll help keep your body limber and moving well and efficient. Next up, something that was essential when I was a triple jumper, and also still just as essential as I've moved over to longer distance running, and that is the tennis ball and the lacrosse ball. I own so many lacrosse balls from my high school and college days. It's insane. I even got Dave on the lacrosse ball bandwagon because they're just so good. But tennis ball and lacrosse ball are really good for rolling out the bottom of your foot. Your whole body is connected. So I won't go into all the details because I am not like a licensed professional. I'm just an athlete who's been through a lot. So my knowledge is just based off of the things that my PT and my trainers have told me, but your whole body is connected. All your muscles, tendons, everything is connected in you. So if you sometimes feel like you have a tightness in your hip or like in your calf, sometimes it's stemming from a different part of your body that is causing the tightness in different areas. So when it comes to rolling out the bottom of your foot, especially if you are running in your carbon plated shoes or you're running a lot, that foot muscle can get really tight. And you can use lacrosse balls or a tennis ball if you want something a little bit softer to roll out the inside and outside of the foot. I wouldn't go too hard on these because you don't want your foot to end up being sore, but they're a really great thing to have in your bag, and they're inexpensive. And then the lacrosse ball, I mean, I found these from like lacrosse practice. Sometimes you can just like pick them up and just keep them. So I actually don't know how much a lacrosse ball is because I did get these throughout the years on campuses. So that's that. The most expensive things that I do own for my recovery that I've also had for years, and I found to be like one of the best investments that I've ever made when it comes to my athletic journey, and something I'm like, I'm so glad my past self bought that, are two things. First is my massage gun. I don't have the I don't have a Theragun or something like that, but I've had this for over 5 years now, and it served me very well. I think I bought this on Amazon in like 2019. Oh, you see how powerful that is? Crazy. Massage guns are really good for loosening up the muscles, and it's something that I was really happy to have invested in. Obviously you should still foam roll, but sometimes you can like pair the massage gun with the foam rolling and stretching and have like a whole recovery routine. Now, the next thing is my most expensive recovery tool, and I will preface this, and I'll keep on saying this if you need it, okay? You don't need all of these things. Like you don't need, well, okay, you do need a tennis ball and lacrosse ball. Non-negotiable. All right, you do. Sorry, had to say that. However, I also have the Normatec, and I'll insert like a video and picture of my Normie, and I love her so much. Best purchase I have ever made. I would go to my PT and have to like pay to use the Normatec, and which is fine. Like that makes sense. Like you go to get your PT, and like part of the service is like, oh, you can go into the Normatec, or sometimes you could just go to PT and then make an appointment for just using the Normatec. I ended up, after like doing the calculations and how many times I had to go to PT just to use the Normatec, decided that like I could just buy my own. There was a sale, and I think now you can even use your health insurance to buy a Normatec, which is amazing. I think you use like your HSA or your FSA, so definitely look into that. I've gotten like, I think it was like $20 for a 30-minute session, and I've gotten way more bang for my buck by buying it. So that's a wrap on my favorite recovery tools. And then now let's get into the training plan. So the big thing that changed for me from going from a short sprints jumper to then running half marathons and running longer distances was literally the training. When I was doing short sprints and triple jump, we were doing explosive exercise, plyometrics, lifting heavy. That's what we were doing. So then when it came to figuring out what I wanted to do after I retired, I was like, how do I run longer than like 30 seconds? You know what I mean? So I was scrolling on the interweb, and I was like, where am I going to find like a workout? So I heard about Nike Run Club. I saw that you could buy like running plans on Etsy, and I was just kind of like, I just want something that would make it so simple for me to go out there and figure out how to run. I had found Runna, which is the training plan that I've been using since 2023. Yo. Basically, Runna is this really cool app that customizes your training plan for you and your times and how you want to approach running. As someone who had a coach for their entire life and had someone telling them like what workouts to do, when to do them, all that stuff, it was really nice to have a plan that like worked with you. I love Runna. I love how the interface looks. For my first one that I ever did, I did a 8-week crash course half marathon plan, and it was pretty intense, but also it kind of got me into this like cadence of running, and I was like, oh, I like this. Like I like being like feeling accomplished, and it was my first time ever running like double digits or even anything more than 3 miles. I felt very like accomplished at my first one, and I ran 2:15 with that first plan. Then for my next 2 half marathons, literally a whole year later, because I ended up getting married, so I was like, I'm not doing no half marathons in my wedding year. I decided to take a longer approach because I really wanted to dive into training and figure out like what works for me and what doesn't. And it said that I was gonna run between 155 and I ran 156. And I feel like that plan really was tailored to me. Like you can move the dates around, you can customize it, you can even like switch out workouts if you're like, honestly, I'm not about to do that today. And it gives you the freedom, but also the structure that you need. So I really did appreciate that. And that is the training plan that I use, and it is my favorite training plan. You can also use my code if you want. It's not sponsored or anything, but Domonique, my name, will give you 2 weeks free. Let me know what you think, but my bread and butter. Let's talk about gels, gummies, and just hydration supplements and all that stuff. Throughout my half marathon training cycle, I was trying to figure out if I could use gels and be like those girlies who do like the point buy video. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take my gel at mile 4, blah, blah, blah. I realized throughout this entire process that I am not a gel person, and it is very hard for me to stomach gels. I don't like the consistency. It throws me off. If I end up finding one that I do like, you guys will be the first people to know. But for right now, I've tried GU for the first time, GU. And it's this one right here. I'm not a fan. Couldn't do it. Laffy Taffy texture, not my favorite. 0 out of 10, not my vibe. And I tried Huma because I was like, oh, let me give another gel a go. So I tried the Huma, and it's not, I wouldn't say that Huma is bad per se, but I had the strawberry lemonade flavor and it was just so tart in my mouth that I was like, oh my God, I'm struggling. I can't do this. So I think I would need to try another flavor. I actually kind of liked the consistency way more than the goo. So I'm open to trying another flavor. If you have a flavor that you love from Huma, I will give that one a go. I'm leaving the door open. Here are the ones that I use tried and true for my long runs and my half marathon trainings because I loved it. So Honey Stinger Gummies. Love them so much. They're really good. I don't mind like chewing on something when I'm running or like exercising or whatever. Like that's just like, I'm cool with that. Okay. I also used to take like the Gatorade little cubes. Easy peasy. I like gummies and I knew that I could do it. And it's like two servings in one. For the New York City half marathon, I did one at 45 minutes and then another one at 90 minutes. Saving one last one for like the last push because I don't know, I magically thought it was gonna give me just like a burst of energy. I will say that when you are running, you probably should cut it open in the beginning and then add it into your pouch before you even start running, and like this. So it's like that. And then you can open up your running belt, unzip it, and then put your hand in, and then just like eat it while you go so that you're not like opening it up, moving around, and doing too much. The other thing is the Honey Stinger waffles. Oh my gosh. These are so tasty. These, I had them before I started running. Like I would have them like as I'm like walking to the start line or like before I actually go out to go run. The other one is Go-Go Squeeze, and I'll put a picture up here. I do love a Go-Go Squeeze. When I was trying to figure out my gel stuff like that, I was using Go-Go Squeeze like as my carbs because it sat well in my stomach. I'm not sure for everyone else, but Go-Go Squeeze is one of my favorite carb fuels to use when I am running because it's just click it open, squeeze, done. When it comes to athletic wear and shorts and shirts and all that stuff, I like when things are looser on my body when I'm running. Tops a little bit different. I do like compression, but like when it comes to like shorts and everything, I am much more of a loose short person. And I'm gonna try to link as many as I can down below and show pictures of like how it fits on me. I have a lot of shorts. Free People and Athleta are like the two that I typically wear when it comes to shorts and leggings. I'm gonna show you guys some shorts, but I'm also gonna show you like what I like about them because I will buy shorts like no matter necessarily the brand, as long as they like fit the criteria that I like. And typically I'm wearing like some from Aloe right now, but waistband, nice waistband, and flowy baggy shorts. These are from Free People Movement. Love her. These are the Carpe Diem shorts and they're super flowy. I love the thick waistband and they also have like the underwear in it. They're just so breathable. And that's what I love. They're so breathable. The next one that I have is a tight short actually, which I found recently and I ran in them and I love them because of the fact that they have these deep pockets to put your phone in. So sometimes like if you're wearing a smaller running belt, you'll want like a pocket that you can just slip your phone in and it won't be in your way at all. And these honestly stay in place the whole time because they have this, you see like the band inside of it. If I needed to wear a tight short, these are the ones I'm gonna go to, or something again of this length with the same type of band and the pockets are what I would go to. Another running short favorite of mine are these cute Get the Flair On shorts from Free People. I have even so many different colors, literally like every color of the rainbow I literally own because they're so cute and girly and I love them. Granted, you'll never put anything in these pockets, like these are for real. The next thing that I wear, and these are the Runzie. This is also from Free People Movement and I've worn them for 2 half marathons. I love them. It's a one piece, so the only thing I will say that if you're running a half marathon in the Runzie, you should probably use the bathroom before you get there because it is a one piece. And also if you are gonna like remove the Runzie to use the bathroom, you should unclip it at the bottom or even at the top so that you can take it out without like ripping off your bib. So that's the only like con of wearing the Runzie. For leggings, these are from Athleta. I have these in like many different colors. I love them because of the deep pocket that they have. I think these are saturation. No, interval stash 7/8 tights. They stay up very well. When it comes to shirts, I pretty much wear like the same kinds of shirts all the time. If it's a short sleeve t-shirt that's slightly cropped. Honestly, that is what I'm wearing. So see exhibit A, B, and C here. These are the types of shirts that I'm wearing when it comes to running. Now, the last thing I will say is a running jacket. I don't think everyone needs a running jacket, but they are nice, like especially in the spring or when it is windy outside. So I have this one from Nike. I love her. It's really nice. It's a very great quality. It's breathable. It's super light. So if you do have to take it off because you're sweating, which has happened to me many of times, you can just literally like roll it up and like fit it between your running belt. And it's like, you don't even feel it. Like honestly, sometimes I have to look down to make sure that it's still with me. What is in this pocket? Oh, LOL, it's pocket. Oh my gosh, I never realized that. It can pack up. Okay, so it's even better. The last thing I'll say about my favorites when it comes to running are this anti-chafe stick, and I figured it can have its own little category because I didn't really know where to fit it in, but I have this anti-chafe stick right here from First Aid Beauty. I have it in a regular size and I also have it in a travel size so that I can fit it within my running belt. I'm like, I don't know where the medic tent is gonna be to like go get some chafing cream or whatever. This is like really, really good for if you chafe between your legs, your arms, wherever. Like I feel like having a tried and true chafe stick when you're running, especially as it's getting warmer out, is perfect. I always keep it with me. Like I gave my friends this too. I was like, y'all need this. So I feel like it's one of my favorite things to have, and I didn't realize that I even needed it until I started running longer distances and I realized that your legs do chafe pretty bad. Those are pretty much my favorites when it comes to running and all the things that I've been using. I think my biggest takeaways from this year, especially having a 12-minute PR and running 2 half marathons back to back, is that like recovery is just as important as training, and being mentally prepared for any race or any training is honestly where you're going to see the most success. So you can have all the things and you can have your favorites, which you will definitely develop over time as you become a better runner or you transition in your career or just like continue doing the sport that you're doing. That's all great, but I think mentally is where a lot of the success and true progress happens. Running 2 half marathons back to back, honestly, like was not in my 2025 bingo card. I just said I was gonna run the New York City half, and then I got the opportunity to run the Disney Princess half marathon, and it just showed me how much fun like running is, and also the community around running and the people that you meet and all that stuff. They're just so incredible, and everyone that I've encountered so far who's cheered me on or I've met in general has just been like, they've been so great, and it just makes running and everything that I missed about track and missed about being on a team and missed about the sport in general just feels like it came back, especially in these 16 weeks. And that's just something that I'm really happy about. I will wrap up the video here, and I think that there's going to definitely be more races and fun runs down the road. So if you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos of running and movement and just enjoying life, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye.